Geeks Assemble! What's up, guys? It's Casey from the Geeks with Wives for another Ladies of the Roundtable Comics Corner for the week of January 29th. So this week, once again, I have a big stack, so I'm going to go through them relatively quickly so I'm not wasting too much of your guys' time here. So the first one we have up is Inhumanity, number 2, written by Matt Fraction. I don't have a lot of good things to say about this book outside of the art and the layouts. I really just don't know why this book exists or what's going on. Basically, what has happened is the Inhumans' home has fallen Atlantean, and they've been spread out across the entire world. So now they're pretty much wreaking havoc because they have all these powers, and they're coming out of the woodwork, and nobody knows what they are, or who they are, or where they're from, and what they're doing, and all this stuff. So the royal family has to kind of step in and take charge at this point. And that's basically where this story starts off, is Medusa has to step up and kind of take charge of her people and kind of lead them in the right direction. The reason I don't know why this book exists is because this is already issue number 2, and I think it's over, and they're moving on to another issue. So, while I can't highly recommend it, I do recommend it if you're interested in the Inhumans and their history, because you do get a lot of that information in here as well. But really great art, really great layouts, just not the story I was looking for. Also out this week, big spoilers for this one, Superior Spider-Man 26. It's the story that leads into the game changer that will be Goblin Nation, coming out in a few weeks. So this story basically is 2 stories. It's a fight between Hobgoblin and Green Goblin, who are trying to take control of the criminal underworld, and a discussion or argument between the Avengers and Spider-Man, because the Avengers are pretty much figuring out that Spider-Man is not who he says he is, and they want to kick him out of the Avengers, and they have a bit of an argument. But the big reveal of this book is we finally see who the Green Goblin is, and it appears to be Norman Osborn. But if you know anything about Dan Slott in this story, it's already had tons and twists and turns. So there's a couple of scenes in here where I just don't think, I think that they want you to think it's Norman Osborn, but it's definitely somebody else. So great action scenes in this book, especially in the fight between the 2 goblins. There's 3 artists on this book, so you get to see a bunch of different art styles throughout the pages. So when the Avengers are on the scene, there's a different art style, and when we go into Peter's brain, there's a different art style, and then when we go to the fight scenes, there's a different art style. So they can be a little jarring at first, but they did it in a way so that all the scenes are representative by the art, and as opposed to just randomly putting art everywhere. So check that out, Superior Spider-Man. If you're not reading Superior Spider-Man, shame on you. Also out this week, my favorite book out is Uncanny Avengers. This is a hugely action-packed issue. If you love Thor, you have to get this book. Even if you haven't been picking up the story, you can pick it up pretty quickly. But if you know anything about Rick Remender and his writing, he tends to put people and characters in the worst, dire, most bottom of the barrel situations. Like, these people, there's no way they can get out, there's no way they can escape, there's no way they can win, and somehow he brings it all together and it ends in a somewhat happy ending. So in this book, basically our heroes are defeated. A celestial being has come to destroy Earth. Captain America and Thor are just beat to crap. Captain America's missing half of his face, is captured by the Apocalypse twins, and Thor comes in to save him. And then Thor and the twins go in an all-out battle, which is most of the book, and it's pretty cool scenery, a lot of great action, a lot of great scenes with Thor fighting. If you really like action and want to see why comics are cool, then I suggest picking up this book. It's so much fun. Alright, so favorite of mine out this week, Guardians of the Galaxy. This is issue number 11. It's a Trial of Jean Grey story, number 1. So last week we had the X-Men Trial of Jean Grey, number 1, and this week we have Guardians of the Galaxy. So this is basically that same story, but from the view of the Guardians. So we get to see the moments that lead up to them meeting the X-Men in the end of the last issue. A lot of great dialogue. You get a great scene of Peter Quill in a bar, cantina a la Star Wars, drinking and talking to aliens and all that good stuff. I just can't get enough of this book. I just really love the space aspect. I really love all the characters and their interactions. Also, if you buy this book, you get a free copy of the digital issue of the first volume. So that's like 4 or 5 issues for free. So buy this book, you get 6 free issues. You get a digital issue of this book, and then a digital of the first volume, which is, I believe, 5 issues. So once again, this book is worth it alone just for the interaction between the characters. We get a lot of conversations between the whole team and what they should do about the situation on Earth with Jean Grey coming back and possibly bringing the Phoenix Force. And then the Shi'ar going out to kidnap her and put her on trial. So it's a lot of fun. If you're not reading the Guardians of the Galaxy, you really should be. I think it's one of the best books for especially new comic book readers because it's so much fun and so easily accessible. Finally, and we also have another Rick Remender story, Black Science. Now, if you've listened to this before, you've heard me just rant and rave about Black Science, and once again, I just can't say enough good things about this book and Rick Remender alone. He just is really a fantastic storyteller and really just loves to go out on a limb and create the crazy and make you just fall in love with these crazy situations and these crazy circumstances that he puts his characters in, and you think that, like I said, you think there's no hope, and somehow they pull it out in the end. So he's doing the same thing here in Black Science, where scientists, or as they call themselves, dimension knots, are jumping dimensions and getting caught in the middle of wars and are getting severely injured, and there seems to be no hope anymore, and the machine's broken and they're stuck in a dimension where Native Americans have the highest technology and can pretty much destroy armies, and it's super crazy, super fun, and like I said, it's a dire book with situations you just don't know how the characters are going to get out of. It's very adult, a lot of sex and drugs, so not for the kids. Alright, so finally this week, my pick of the week is going to be Furious #1. And this is a new book put out by Dark Horse this week. Basically, it is a story of a new female heroine who just came onto the scene. And she's ultra-violent, makes kind of a mess of things when she tries to help. But the crux of the book is she's also a public figure, so her secret identity is the public figure, so she's always trying to balance being a superhero and a public figure and having her secret identity in the mix, so she's always trying to have to dodge social media. So that's a huge part of the book, is her trying to interact with social media and how she dodges it, like camera phones and Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, and how she has to kind of manipulate that while being a superhero, while being a famous figure in the entertainment world. So it's really fun. She's really kind of a cool character. She has a lot of anger and a lot of issues with the situations that she's in. It's a nice kind of different take on the superheroine, and I really enjoyed it. The art style is really great. It looks very much like color paints. It's watercolors. It's really fun book. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to seeing that issue play out. It's a 5-issue miniseries, so there's only 5 issues. This is the first one with Furious #1. So that's it for me, guys. Once again, if you want to check out more from the Geeks with Wives, please visit us on www.geekswithwives.com. And make sure you guys are listening to the Ladies of the Roundtable podcast every Friday and their new Ladies After Dark radio network, which will have tons of content for you guys constantly. So make sure you're tuning in there. So if you want to see me or any of my work, make sure, once again, go to geekswithwives.com. I'm always posting comic book articles and cosplay stuff up there. So that's it from me this week, and I will catch you on the geek side.